Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch. Every once in a while, we talk about something else crafty, but today it is all cross stitch. If you are new, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play and giving my channel a try. I hope you like what you see. Hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your support each and every week and stitching with me. I really do appreciate it. I am back in Delaware only for a week. I'll talk about that. Shamrock is going to need some procedure, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't know if you'd call it surgery really. So I will have to take him back up to his regular vet, but we decided to, well, we didn't decide to. The house is on the market, so we decided, we figured rather than being gone for entire days at a time while they do the showings, that we would come down here so this way we wouldn't have to worry about all of that. And I'll talk about that too. Lots going on, really too much going on right now. It's funny, I feel really tall, and I'm not. I'm actually quite short, but for whatever reason, the way this setup is this week, I feel like my little thing that holds the camera shrunk a little bit because I know I didn't get any taller, but we'll make it work. That's all right. Yeah, can you believe it's the end of, I was gonna say February, January already. And exciting is that this is Flosstube number 100. I can't believe it. Thank you so much for everybody following me along the way here. It's just amazing to me. Never did I think when I started that I would have 100 floss tubes, and I have a couple other extras as well. We're coming up actually on 2 years of filming because I started in February of 2020. So we are rapidly approaching that. I have one finish, I have 5 ongoing projects, and I have 1 new start. So I was able to get some decent stitching in here or there, and I'm excited to show it all to you. So let's get going. The first one, I'm only going to show you the black and white, it's the finish. I'm going to show you the black and white print off because it's a digital. I just am showing that purely because I didn't do the entire pattern, so I wanted to show you what is on it. It's Merry Christmas from Cherry Hill. So if you look at it there, you'll see that there's a whole bottom area that says Merry Christmas and there's a few birds. I chose not to do that. I wanted to keep it just more wintry, because even though, okay, there's kind of greenery and holly, you could have that through the winter. Lord knows it was a while before we got back here, so our Christmas decorations outside were still on. Well, they weren't on, but I mean, like the wreath was up and we had put like a little swag of something in the window box and all that, so it was still out in late January. But anyway, so that's what the original does look like from Cherry Hill. So if you wanted a purely Christmas piece as well, it's super cute that way. I just decided to do it without. And here's my finish. This is an 18 count Chinchilla from Mystic Fabric. It is a really lovely gray. It is modeled, not, let me see if I see it on the camera. Those might be slightly more. I have a piece that I'm going to show you later on that I can show you, but it is a little bit more obvious than some of the hand dyeds. And I'm okay with that because, you know, especially with scenes, something outdoors, I really like it because, you know, it adds some movement and it does make it look like it's outdoors a little bit. So I'm really thrilled, and it shows up white really nicely. And I have a feeling for more kind of Christmassy or wintry pieces, I will be pulling this one out. I have another piece. I think, remember my carousel? I want to try the colors on this because I think that might look pretty too. So it's all done, and no clue what I'm doing with it, but I figured this way, keeping the words off, I could use it in a little bit longer if I was to put it out. I was thinking here, so this is kind of a little extension of an upstairs area, like a extra little area that I've kind of commandeered for my crafting stuff. And you can see I don't have anything really organizational except this set of cubes from IKEA yet. I have plans. Poor Mo is gonna have to build some stuff. But right now, if you were to see the wall on this side, it's just a whole bunch of things piled up. But I have no idea where I was going with that now. Oh, I know what I want to say. on that wall, it's, you know, it's a plain wall because the staircase comes, so, you know, the stairs are right there. I was thinking potentially maybe putting some kind of the floating shelves. And that way, if I did want to finish some pieces and put them up here, because our downstairs, we're fairly minimalist when it comes to decor. We really don't put out a lot, and we a lot of times like to do pictures. So I don't know how much of what I stitch would make it just out for decor. I mean, definitely things like ornaments and stuff could go on a tree, but when it comes to anything else, I just really don't know. So I thought maybe if I put some there, and I do want to get a table and put it in the middle of the room because I like having the table in the middle of the room. And then if that happens, I might be able to film at that table, and then you could see the different stuff on the wall. That's a potential down the line. I want to get some of the organizational stuff first so that I can get all of that stuff off the floor and into wherever it needs to go. So that's the long term, but this would be something that'd be cute then that I could put up there if I wanted to. So we'll see. Okay, so that's the finish. Now let's talk about pieces. They're just getting thrown on the floor today. I really do feel tall with this setup because I'm using just a TV tray table as well. And so everything is really low. This I do need the computer for because I wanted to show you, I have a lot of digitals, as I seem to have more and more of lately. This is on the beach from Stitchrovia. So that's what it looks like. Super cute. I saw this, gosh, I don't know if it was a year or 2 years ago. Probably 2 years ago because I started it, I believe, in January of 2021. So I would have had to buy it in 2020, I guess. I love it. I love the whole beach vibe, beach theme. I love the colors. Stitchrovia does great colors. I've sputtered a bit, to be quite honest with you. I love it and I will finish it. I'm not going to put it aside, but it's intensive. I'm working on the people first. I'm actually looking forward to the water to get a relief. There are so many color changes and little colors that it gets a little overwhelming. So what I did was this month for January, I started, and we'll see if this is something I do for all of 2022. I have a little kind of, I guess you could call it a planner. I don't really do kind of straight full planning, but I have like a planner book that has different things. I like to write down what I've stitched on any given day. And, you know, I have other areas where I give information for starts and stops and all that. But at the beginning of each month, there's goals, which would be life goals, which, you know, I don't do. But I thought it might be cute to pick 6 projects that I have and try in the course of the month to see them. And so on the beach was the last of the 6 that I hadn't gotten to. And I'm really glad I actually put it on there because I wouldn't have picked it up. And, you know, this thing is going on a year old now, so I would like to get it finished. So that's where I am. It is on an 18 count beach sand from To Die For fabrics. And I mean, I love the look of it and I will love it when it's done. It's just tough right now. My concentration was to try to, she's almost finished. I think there's the middle of the umbrella that's not done there. And she's almost finished. I think there's just a couple of things at the end of the towel, the beach towel that needs to be done. And then I did a little bit here. So I'm trying to maybe kind of even off this area. And then we're getting closer. I think the water kind of goes on an angle. So it's higher on one end, lower on the other. So I still have some more sunbathers to go. But let me do this so I can hold it. But I'm getting there. And again, I love it, super cute. That would be a great thing to maybe have on some ledges if I had them. Or if I wanted to put it in a stitching scrapbook. And somebody had asked me, what is a stitching scrapbook? It is just a name I made up. A lot of people use the name stitching journals, but that can mean 2 things because some people have stitching journals that they write down their stitching, you know, the name of the projects, what they stitched, blah, 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 all of that. And then some people use stitching journals where they put completed pieces that they don't know where else to put, as opposed to, you know, hanging them up somewhere, or there may be smalls that, you know, they can only have so many pillows in their house or things like that. So I had started using the name stitching journal, But then I realized that that could really get confusing. So I took my paper background and I used to scrapbooked a lot when my kids were little. And so I'm calling it a stitching scrapbook. So it would be a place to put stitching that maybe I'm not going to finish traditionally, and I can talk about it, I can put info. I thought it'd be really cute in some cases, maybe to pair it with pictures of things that in our life that kind of goes with it, or take some of the I mean, there's only so many monthly things you can put out. I mean, how many Januaries can I have displayed in my house? So if I did one, if I wanted to like scrapbook a year, and you could use that as the front of your year type of thing. So we'll see. You could make, display boards, you could do all sorts of things, but that's what I meant. I'm not sure if I ever truly explained it to whoever had asked the question. I apologize for that, but that's what I mean. A lot of people call them stitching journals. I just didn't want to confuse the two types, and so I just went with stitching scrapbook. Not really a thing, but I'll make it a thing. Anyway, that's on the beach. Long story short, that's on the beach. So I think I will continue, not every month, but I will continue through this year to place it on that set of 6 that I do want to look at, or not look at, but I do want to actually touch and stitch, because otherwise I'll keep talking myself out of it. And I think once I get to the water, I think it'll go a lot faster. There's just so many color changes, and some of the symbols kind of look alike. They're different, and you can tell, and it's very clear, but they're close enough that in my brain sometimes I mess them up, so I kind of have to double and triple check myself. So that's why I've been a little bit lax with that one, but I'm not giving up on it because I think it's super cute. Okay, next I picked up, I'm here, so I have to stitch on Delaware, right? This is from VladaXStitch, I believe. Yes, VladaXStitch. They have, excuse me, all the states, they have countries, and they have other things as well. But I have to say, so many of the states are beautiful. I really love the colors that they've chosen for so many of them. And I saw this one and I loved the colors of this one. So that's where I am. I was actually, I think I had done a little bit of this in Connecticut, and then for some reason, I must have been at Michael's and I couldn't find 2 of the colors. And I didn't bring my DMC extras to Connecticut. I had left them here in Delaware. So when I came down here, first thing I did was to check. One of the colors I had, like, how when you buy them for new projects and such, because a lot of times I'll have multiple projects and I just buy DMC, so it's cheap and I buy it on sale. So I have multiple skeins of it. Well, I have like 4 skeins of one of the colors. The other color, I had only 1, but luckily I had it, so I didn't have to make a trip for it. But that's what it looks like. I am done with the deeper oranges, and now we're going down with more of the lighter oranges and getting into the yellows. Super cute. I think I do have a counting error somewhere. Because the colors are similar, I kind of goofed a little bit, but it's not a huge error. And these colors all kind of blend together, so I think it's fine. 18 count beach glass from Vintage Needle Arts is the fabric. A very, very light subtle green. I really love it. So that's that one. Okay, moving on. I am, maybe not every week, but I do want to see this at least 2 weeks a month, because now I'm on the back end of it, so I would love to get a finish on this one. It's called Betsy's Autumn from Plum Street. That's what it looks like. I've decided I really do want to finish this one before I go back to my Cinnamon Stars, just so they don't keep both carrying on, because this one's a 1.5 years old now, so I do want to get it done. So that's what it looks like. I did a bunch of different things. I focused up here and got some more of this. This obviously is as far as it goes, so I'm getting near the end of the top. I had talked to you about trying to figure out a second color for the pumpkins, because it's charted in 2 different colors, and the second color, the DMC alternative, is very brown. And then I thought to myself, why can't I do them all the same color? I really like that orange. It's kind of a burnt orange. It's a deep orange. And so I have to do all the little stems on them, but I did it and I like it. So I'm keeping it. And I'm only going to do one color pumpkins. That made the decision easy for me. And then we come up here, and then we just have the girl right there. So it's coming along. I did finish, I don't know if last time you had seen it, but the border is completely done. And it all lined up, which was really nice. And yeah, so I don't know if I could finish this one in February. It depends, I guess, on how many weeks I give it. But I would say a couple months and I could have this one finished. Really thrilled with this one. I love this one. And this is an 18 count. What is it? Honey Amber. I should know that by heart by now. By Fabrics by Stephanie. So that's that. Alrighty, next one. Next one I do stitch every single week, and I just really enjoy pulling it out. It is called Lady Halloween from Jardin Prive. That's what she looks like. And before I forget, there is a stitch along. It's hashtag Lady Halloween SAL, Lady Halloween Sal. Feel free to add that if you end up stitching this, because I would love to see your info. And if you do and are stitching it, and whether it's an Instagram, it doesn't have to be a Flosstube or videos of any type, but if you have an Instagram and you'd like me to link that in the description box, feel free to let me know, and I'd be happy to. In the description box below, not only do I talk about the fabric and the flosses, especially any floss changes like her hair in the Etoile, but I also list different floss tubers as well as at least one Instagrammer who are all stitching it. So just reach out, let me know, and I'd be happy to add you. All right, there it is. This is 18 count Smoky Amethyst from To Die For Fabrics. And as usual, I kind of jumped around. I did a little bit down here, so now she has a second hand. And I know, I have to figure, maybe I'll have to go back to sitting when I'm here. I actually really enjoy standing when I do my videos, but we'll have to see if that'll work. Up here, down here. I don't even know where I am anymore. So yes, I finished that, kind of worked. I think I might have all of the black done for this, and then I did the 2 letters, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna stitch the frog. And I pulled out, I'm gonna show you, I pulled out some green Etoile, which I think is gonna be so cute on here. It's $6.99. So it's a nice deep kind of emeraldy green in the Etoile. And then I realized the frog is way over here. And I am not stitched anywhere near that. I mean, I had the needle threaded and everything ready to go with the Etoile when I looked at the pattern, and I said, oh, we have a little bit of a problem. So what I decided to do then was I did more of her dress. This is one of her shoes. When I get to the other shoe, the frog's right next to that. So whether I finish this part or the shoe, I don't know, whichever way. But my goal is next time I stitch this, I do want to get the frog in because I love that green. I think he's going to look really cute on this. And then I'll figure out like the bubbles and stuff. But I knew I wanted a deep green for the frog, and this one I think is going to be really cute. So I got a little too ahead of myself and just kept going with that as well. I hadn't realized, I don't know if I would have finished this. I might have just concentrated on this if I realized that the frog didn't have anything to count off of. But I was in my own mind. I had pretty much stitched this, and I said, okay, it's going to be it was like the middle of the stitching day. So I pick a project in the morning, and then I just periodically go back and forth. So it's the middle of the day, and I said, oh, I'm going to do the Etoile. I want to, and I picked it out, and I was all excited, and I sit down, and then I saw. And then that's when I decided, okay, then let's just keep going with that. So anyway, still enjoying it, still loving this piece. I really look forward to pulling it out each and every week. So next week I'd say, because I do it every week, let's hope maybe that there'll be a green frog. I will have a travel day and I'll be the one doing the driving. So I won't, I will lose some stitching in that sense. And then, Shamrock's Day, Vet Day, that's going to affect when I'm filming. I'll let you know that though at the end. I don't know if I drop him off and I leave him. Like, I don't know how long the procedure is, or if I drop him off and sit in the cold weather, the cold car. That's still up in the air. So we'll see about that when it comes to stitching later on. So more to come on all of that. All right, next. Ooh, I'm nice and shiny today. It's cloudy-ish. So I have big windows right here. It's partly cloudy. There's not a lot of green sky. It's the calm before the storm, literally. We'll talk about that later too. All right, Earth Laughs from Jan Hicks. I adore this piece. She has some really great, it's the first Jan Hicks I've stitched. I link her down below in her Etsy shop. I think, did I hear somewhere that she was only going to keep the Etsy shop open because she did have a standalone? I don't know if that's the case, but I am going to link the Etsy shop. I just love the gorgeous, gorgeous flowers and everything else with that one and the colors. Now this is charted in Cosmo and I decided, what the heck, I'm going to try Cosmo. It's a little bit more expensive than DMC, but not as expensive as like a variegated. So I found a shop on Etsy. I was able to get all the colors and I'm just giving it a go. I did decide, and it may not be finished the way I originally thought I was going to finish it, but I needed to make it a little bit smaller than what 18 count would be. So I actually picked up a 20 count. So this is a 20 count ice blue from To Die For Fabrics. It's a beautiful, beautiful blue. And the colors just look so lovely on it. I am stitching this with one strand. This was the first time that I really jumped in the idea of one strand stitching, because on 18 count, I myself do prefer two. There are lots of people that like one. If you would like to see somebody whose stitching is beautiful and she only does one strand on 18 count, I would send you to Sambry Stitches, to Becca, and I'll link her down below if you'd like to see. I'm not 100% sure she always uses one strand, but I'm pretty sure that she is her preference is one strand on the 18 count, and her work is beautiful and she stitches a whole bunch of things. And most of you are probably already watching her because she's she's so nice and wonderful that, you know, why wouldn't you be watching her? But anyway, this is one strand, and I am a 2-strand stitcher who likes the loop method to start. You know, basically you take for anybody who doesn't know, you take a longer piece, you loop the 2 sides together, and that gives you the 2 strands. And when you do your first side of the X, when you come up, you just go through the loop, and that quote unquote ties off your thread. So I adore doing that because then it's one less thing I have to worry about for, you know, tails from stitching as I'm crinkling my fabric. But obviously with one strand, you can't do that. Well, I had searched high and low, and Needlebug, who is a Flosstuber, created the most awesome video to explain how to do a loop start with one strand of stitching. And so I faithfully used that. And I was a little worried. I thought I might have to watch it again because it'd been a while since I had stitched this. I was a little worried I might forget, but it came right back to me what I was supposed to do. Maybe because I watched it a ton of times the first time around. But yeah, and so this time I really wanted to get this yellow flower in. So that's the first time I've introduced the yellow, and then we came down here. And so almost all the colors are introduced. There are 2 shades, one that's, you know, pink, and one that's kind of pink, very slightly bordering onto the mauve. And that's going to be gorgeous on here too. So I think I might, you know, next time, just because a lot of times I'm jumping off of the border on these, I might extend the border and then do the pinks, and that way I'll have all the colors on there, and I'm super excited to see them all on this. So first thoughts of 20 count, I can see it, not a problem there. One strand wouldn't be my choice of stitching, but having this type of start makes it not too bad. And I do use shorter strands, and I don't know if that's because it's just the one strand or if it's the Cosmo. It seems to fray a little bit quicker than my 2 strands do. And I kind of pull in a little different way, and that seems to help too, because I've been having some problems sometimes with the fraying part of it. So you're stitching along and then all of a sudden the thing just separates. But that's what we got. So that's something I'd like to pull out more now that spring may come at some point. Sure doesn't feel like it right now. It is too darn cold right now that, I don't know, it feels like spring's never coming. So maybe if I stitch in some pretty flowers, it'll make me feel better. For my stampers, I don't know if any of you follow Gina Kay. She's a wonderful businesswoman and really, really, and if you like stamps, she's wildly talented and quite good. But she had, I follow her on Instagram, and she had put up there, I think at this point we're now down to 7. There are 7 Mondays or something until spring. So hopefully she keeps counting us down so we know how close we are to spring, because I really need it. All right, last one. That was all my projects that had already been started. And then I felt like doing a small start. I've got about maybe 3 projects in my to start pile where I have the fabric already decided for the most part. One definitely I had the fabric decided. A few others maybe I have to think about. But some of them are a little bit bigger, and I just wanted for the end of January a nice small start, quick stitch. And so I picked up, I had done 2 of the 3 in this kind of Valentine's stamp series. The last one from Primrose Cottage I hadn't done was Sweetheart. So I pulled out that pattern. I had bought all 3 at the one time when I did buy these. A couple years ago now almost. Maybe not a couple, but over a year, because I stitched some of these already. Or the first one I stitched before last Valentine's. I recently stitched Be Mine, and I had done it on accidental 16 count, but I really like the color of this fabric, and I like the look on 16 count. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to do this one on the 16 count as well. And I did. So that's what it looks like. This is 16 count Bliss by Fabrics by Stephanie. And I think I mentioned it last week, but again, thank you to all who, you know, talked about 16 count, who use it and like it. I really loved how the other one turned out. I'm loving the coverage on this one, so I'm thrilled with that. And you might be seeing some 16 count here and there in the future. Keep an eye out. Love this color. It's a very light pink, but the reds pop so nicely. I could see this color actually for Christmas too. You could do a Christmas, you could do spring. There's so much you could do with this color. But that's what it looks like. I probably could get this finished in one more day of stitching. You will see, and actually you can't really see, which kind of makes the decision for me. In the pattern, and you're not gonna be able to tell by the finished piece, but every once in a while floating around, there are some white stitches just kind of fill in some of the areas. You can't notice it. And I've made the executive decision, I'm not going to stitch them, and I don't think they're going to be needed in the end. You probably would be able to see them on this color, but I've decided to forego that. But yeah, hopefully this will be a finish before Valentine's Day. My goal would be with these is to potentially make them into tiny ornaments, and it'd be cute to have like a little Valentine's display. I don't even know. So that's that. That's the start. Hopefully, maybe next week it'll be a finish. We'll see. So that's that. I don't even know where I'm going to be by Valentine's. Things are so up in the air right now. Okay, so that is all of my stitching. Now, plans, we're jumping into a new month. I don't know what 6 pieces I might try to pull back out for the month at some point. Basically, I'll go through and see, maybe pick one that I haven't stitched on for a while, pick one that I like. Betsy's Autumn I might put in there just because I know I wanted to get work done on it. And if I get to them, great. If I don't, it's not the end of the world. But I did see, thank you so much, by the way, for everybody who gave me Quaker suggestions. There is so much out there. And I've been able to look at some, but I haven't even hit more than just the tip of the iceberg. So I'm so excited to buy all the Quakers now. No, I'm just kidding. I'll be stitching I want to stitch all of them. I can't stitch all of them, so I got to figure it out. But I did notice in my digital patterns, I'll close my iPad so I can put the paper behind it. In my digital patterns, I had noticed that I had picked this one up. I must have picked it up when I bought the Santa Flying from Happy Mood Point. And it's called Sampler Quaker. Kind of reminds me of snowflakes, to be honest with you. So I could see doing it in like some sort of blue floss. I thought about starting this one, but I have to think about what I want to do for floss. You know, I'm not a huge fan of variegated. One, I adore the loop start. You're not supposed to do that. And two, I really like doing a bunch of X, half of X's one way and coming back. I'm not a huge fan of completing each X as you go. So those are two things you're supposed to do when you use variegated. Otherwise, you don't get the variegation. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Maybe I'll look to see if DMC variations. I don't want anything massively variegated. Maybe a slight subtle kind of thing. Or I'll just go with, I could do a couple different shades of blue and just mix and match. I don't know. But the thing is, I'm not sure what fabric I want. And, okay, this looks like, okay. Until you realize it is 414 by 220. So it is very, very wide. For 14 count, it is almost 30 inches wide and almost 16 inches high. I'm not sure I have fabric that long. Now, if I use 18 count, obviously, I don't need quite as much as the 14 count, but I still need a really darn big piece. So I have to think about this and think about what color I want and maybe pick up some. I would like probably, if I do it in a deep blue or deeper blue, maybe a nice light blue. Lots of talented fabric dyers out there that do that, add some great colors. So I just have to think about it. So maybe you'll see this one this year. We'll see. And then I just have to go shopping and look at some of the Quakers and decide what I want to do. This Happy Mood Point, they have a ton. I think they call them samplers. Some of them are listed as Quakers. This one has one alphabet, which I guess is why they call it the sampler, in one of the motifs. It's a small little, not even the full alphabet, small little alphabet. Kind of cute. Different symbols and things and other things. So we'll see. But that's a possibility down the line. I just really have to think about fabric and floss on that one. That's the thing with some of these, I mean, you can pick and choose really your fabric, and well, you can always pick and choose your fabric, I suppose. And the flosses you could always change. But here, it's so wide open to pretty much anything that I have to think about how I want to narrow that down. So maybe plans, maybe not, we'll see. That's it. Shopping, I don't have much. I thought about doing a little bit of digital shopping, kind of looking at some of the Quakers and things, and then I just never got to it. So maybe next week, who knows? I don't even know where, well, if they're digital, that's the positive, because non-digital, I don't even know where to ship it anymore. My life is in an uproar. Anyway, so I got a couple pieces of fabric in, and one of them is, and oh, this way I can show you a bigger piece. I wanted to pick up some more Chinchilla from Mystic Fabrics. So if I show you, kind of open up, it's a little starker. You can see though, you can see the modeling. It's not as in your face, light, dark in person, but you can see it. It is definitely not like some of the hand dyeds where it's basically non-existent. There is some of that in this. But I did pick up, one of her regular size pieces for that, because I really do like this color, and I thought I could use it. Then the other thing I did, every once in a while, I check out Color and Cotton. They have a small section sometimes of ready to ship colors that they just have. Not always. I know at the end of the year, after the holidays, I don't think there was anything. It was non-existent, at least in the Ada part that I looked at. I don't know about the others. But anyway, so I was looking, and I've decided that maybe for 16 count, what I'll do is not necessarily order it to be dyed, but I will look at some of the different places that have ready to ship and maybe pick up some 16 counts here or there. And that way I can add a little bit to my stash of 16 counts and have some options for that. And, you know, depending, because I don't know how much I would gravitate towards it as opposed to my 18 count. Maybe if I wanted to make a pattern a little bit bigger kind of thing. So I went to Color and Cotton and they had a 16 count ready to roll. And I'm looking at the wrong one. It's called Moss. And this is what it looks like. It's a really cool green. I really, really like it. Now, a lot of times for their ready to ship, it's the 13 by 17s they have available. So it's the small pieces, but it's a fun way to see what the colors look like. Well, funnily enough, they had Moss in 18 count, and I decided to pick that up as well. And this is going to show you, so interesting, how the dye takes to different fabrics. There's just, one's a 16, one's an 18. They are as close in counts as you can get. Look at the difference. This is the 18, this is the 16. So the 16 count will dye way darker or much different than the 18 count. I remember somebody had listed to me in the order of how, you know, fabrics take the dye and how it can differ. And it was so funny how 18 count is on the other end of the spectrum than I think the 14 and the 16. I think even 20 count takes it closer to 14, 16 than 18 count does, which is kind of silly, not silly, but kind of was amazing to me. So anyway, these are both the same color. They're both called Moss, 18 count, 16 count. So that's the other thing. Maybe I want a shade of something, but now this look would be different than this look depending on the flosses you use. You know, which one shows up better. So that's kind of cool too. I'm so super excited with that. And so periodically you might see some 16 counts. If I see them in the ready to ship from different hand dyers, I will pick some up and just slowly build up a little bit of 16 count in my stash. I have a couple 20 counts as well. I probably would do the same thing. Maybe not, unless it was for a specific piece, maybe not go out and have it dyed, but grab some if it's available. So that's it. That's all I have for shopping. Giveaways. Let's talk giveaways. I wanted to give a reminder to Maria Martins. I'll put your name up against my fabric for a minute so that we can show. So Maria, let's see if it's going to show up. Maria Martins. Sorry, I'm kind of making your name a little bit extended. You won the bee thread keep. So you have one more week to get back to me. If I don't hear from you by my next video, I will choose a new winner for that giveaway. And I'm going to put that, I don't know where I'm going to put that. I'll put it right here for now because I got to remember to bring that with me for next video. That's the problem traveling to and from too. I have to bring different things back and forth. Okay, so you know what? I had left it in the plastic. I'm just going to leave it in there now. This week's giveaway, the thread keep along with this pattern, I was kind of giving a nod to Karla from Karla Being Crafty for her hashtag BEE, Be Your Own Valentine's Sal for February. And so I was gifted very generously from a stitchy friend here on Flosstube, YouTube, this pattern, and I would love to share it with one of you. And I thought, what a perfect time then right now, if you'd like to stitch it potentially during February with Karla, stitching bee items. So it's called Be Warm. It's from Needle Bling Designs. Let me grab the bucket, the Delaware bucket. It's a different bucket than the Connecticut bucket. Mix up the names. And the winner, I always grab more than one. Okay, do I have just one? Yes. The winner is Danielle Boudreau. Congratulations, Danielle. If you could please give me your name. You can either do it through Instagram or Gmail. Both of those are listed down below, how to reach me. Give me your address. I will send this out to you. So I'm going to put your name with the pattern. A lot of times if I have it in plastic, I can just put the name right in the plastic until it's ready to ship. and you're good to go. All right, Danielle, reach out and I will send that to you. Okay, this week, so since we seem to be getting potentially the blizzard of 22, I don't know. I've been watching the weather people, and they all say something different, and the models say something different, but apparently we're getting snow. So I thought, how about let's look at a snow pattern then. So this is from Waxing Moon Designs. It's called Watch It Snow. That's all I'm going to be doing tomorrow is watching it snow. Anyway, that's what it looks like. Super cute. You could stitch it. You could stitch it as a one piece. I could totally see you separating some of these and stitching them on their own. You could have a lot of fun with it, however you wanted to do it. So if you would like to be put in for the drawing for the Watch It Snow from Waxing Moon, please say the word mitten, M-I-T-T-E-N, mitten, since we'll be all wearing mittens if we have to go outside. So that's this week's giveaway. And please, 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 let's hope for not much snow. Thank you very much. Not unless you're in like the mountains somewhere with, you know, ski, this, that, and the other. Then okay, you can have your snow. Everybody else, no snow. So anyway, that's it. That's the stitching part of everything. So if you want to jump off to the next thing to watch rather than hearing the life stuff, then I hope you have a fantastic, warm, safe week, and I'll see you next week. I have so much life stuff. I should have wrote notes. At the bottom of my notes, I just do wrap up finish is where I talk life. Well, I can't even keep track. Thank you so much to everybody who has reached out and asked about Shamrock. Whether you reached out in the comments, many of you reached out through Instagram. Thank you so much. He went to the vet on Monday. So it's a good news, bad news scenario. Excuse me, my nose is 365 days a year, my nose runs. Anyway, he still has the ulcer in the eye. The good news is it was not getting worse. The bad news was it was not healing. So she could have, she's like, there's a procedure called debridement, which I think basically they scrape the cornea and get rid of the ulcer. I don't know exactly. He could have had that done on Monday. The problem was that we had to get out of town because of the house stuff. So if we weren't sure what would happen, you know, for follow-ups and what if there was an issue and so on and so forth. So we asked the vet, we said, well, we really need to be out of town. Can we continue with the medication for another, you know, week and a half? And she said, absolutely. We could certainly do that. You're not going to hurt him, you know, type of thing. And it gives us, it's the conservative treatment. Let's see what happens. Maybe he starts to get better. I have a feeling he's not, his eye is not shut like it was, but every once in a while it doesn't quite open the way it's supposed to. And then the next day it's like wide open and you see his big brown eyes. So I have a feeling he's going to need the procedure. So he's scheduled for that procedure next Friday, which means next Thursday we are going to be traveling back up to Connecticut, get him, you know, settled in. And then Friday morning he will go, and my guess is he will need that procedure. Normally I tape on Friday mornings. I don't know if they say, yes, you leave him here, this thing's gonna take whatever, and then we need to watch him afterwards. If I can come home and film in that time, I will. If I can't, I will film in the afternoon. The good thing about Connecticut filming is I have ridiculously fast uploading time in Connecticut. I can upload an almost hour video in 20 minutes. It's crazy. It's ridiculous how fast it is. Down here in Delaware, I have ridiculously slow uploading time. It will take me hours. So this video, even though I'm taping on Friday morning, it will not be up before at least mid-afternoon, Friday afternoon. And that's on a good day. So if I do have to film late next week, at least I know that it will upload fast and that you'll get it in about the same amount of time you'd get this one from down here in Delaware. So anyway, the timing might be a little skewed. Timing's going to be skewed when I'm down here in Delaware anyway, because I just never know how long a video is going to take. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe at some point I change my filming day. I don't know. I'm not sure what works best. What days are there a ton that come out that don't work as well? Maybe there's a day where there's not as many videos come out. We'll see. Anyway, so that's Shamrock, and that's my filming potential change next week. And then, excuse me, the house went live yesterday. Leave it to us to put our house on the market right when Snowmageddon Blizzard is coming. So the goal was to have showings on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, have an open house on Sunday with people's offers being due by Monday, if anybody was interested. So we're doing showings Thursday and Friday. I'm pretty sure there will be nothing tomorrow. It's the way they're talking, it could be 12, 14 inches of snow. Whether or not an open house goes forward on Sunday, we will see. It kind of depends on what happens for the snow, how the plows work. In Connecticut, obviously, they're used to snow much better than they are here in Delaware. So it might get done faster. The street I live on is kind of like it's a small little enclave. So it's its own little neighborhood. It's not a through, excuse me. And so sometimes they don't plow it as quick as they do other streets. So that could be an issue, of course. I mean, we have somebody set to go that will plow our driveway for us, since Mo won't be there to do it himself, and do our walkway and stuff. So we'll see. I don't know. And then there's the potential now of having showings on Monday if there's anybody interested. Although I suspect the schedule got really jam-packed yesterday and today. So between yesterday and today, we have about 26 showings scheduled. Fingers crossed. That means that we can find, all I need is one, right? All I need is one really interested buyer. So hopefully that's good news. We had a good 10, 11 showings yesterday and a whole bunch today. So they're in and out. Hopefully, like I said, we'll get some interest. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, the timing is hilarious how it worked out. Down here in Delaware, we were actually slated to get probably a foot of snow. Potentially, again, give or take, depending on what the storm does. Down here, we're not going anywhere before Monday. We've already gotten, so I live in a community here in Delaware. And so the streets are not plowed by, the normal town, city, whatever you call them, plowing Department of Transportations. We have to have our own contractors come in. Now, their trucks are usually not slated for larger amounts of snow. And so their plan is, at small amounts, they try to do one entryway of roads in case, God forbid, there's any emergencies and an emergency vehicle needed to get in. But they don't really get everything plowed until much longer. So that's fine. I had to go to the grocery store Wednesday. So we planned dinners for the next week. So I have food. I don't have to worry about going. So I'm all set there. As long as we shovel a little area for Shamrock to do his business, we're good. We'll hang out here. That means I can stitch. Mo's so funny because he has to always kind of be doing something, keep going. He doesn't really have a specific hobby. So he's like, what am I going to do all weekend? Like, you really need a hobby. I myself am all prepared to relax and stitch. And, obviously I do a little bit of exercise and I do my yoga and this, that. But, it could be good stitching time. He needs to find something. So he's not bugging me too. And the other big thing is that, how I've talked about how he is an Aston Villa fan for Premier League football. And so they're on international break right now. So he can't even watch soccer, what we call here. He can't even watch that on the weekend for the next 2 days because they're not on. So he was really bummed. Anyway, that's it. If I survive the weekend stuck here with him not driving me nuts, we'll be good to go. But hopefully I can get some good stitching in, and yeah, that's about it. So let's hope for maybe a snowstorm that moves out to the ocean, and maybe we don't get a foot of snow. If you are anywhere near Cape Cod or Rhode Island, I'm thinking about you because they're thinking blizzard for out that way. 30 inches of snow maybe, I don't know. So please be careful. And I'll be, you know, thinking about you up in that area. And that's really about it. So, ooh, we're gonna come in at just 50 minutes rather than my longer 54, 55 minutes. That's it. That's enough. I'm exhausted thinking about it. I had nightmares all week. I had strange paint colors on my walls of the house in Connecticut, literally paint peeling off. It was just awful. I kept having these nightmares right before the house, you know, nobody was gonna wanna see it and this, that, and oh my goodness. It's amazing in your head what you'll do when you're sleeping. So I'm hoping for some good night's sleep, some rest and everything else, and some good stitching time this weekend. But all that said, please keep warm. Please be safe inside and outside, whatever you happen to be doing. It'll be a little bit crazy. Please don't go out on the roads. If it is snowing and the like, in some areas, it could be blizzard conditions, extremely, extremely dangerous. So I'll be thinking about all of you who will be in the same boat as us, being snowed in maybe, and maybe getting some stitching time. But until next time, happy stitching.